YouTube? Welcome back to UniX TCG, and today we have more OP02 gameplay. This is going to be a really hectic couple weeks. Like I said, I've got 2 more regions to cover with Battle Spirit Saga Road Tour. We've got the online regional that I'm going to stream for One Piece coming up in about a week, and then actually a little less than that. And then we also will have the Las Vegas Battle Spirits launch event. So we got a lot of stuff going on, and I cannot wait to get into that. That being said, though, here we are about to get into another match. I believe this is Ivankov versus Kinemon, so this is going to be pretty fun. And we got more to come up. We got plenty of other matches to come up in the future, so this is going to be good in general. I hope you guys like gameplay because we're serving it. That being said, I do want to let everybody know that if you want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, the easiest way to do so is to go down, click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment so that, you know, we constantly have a dialogue going. I swear I'll get to them. We also have a Discord outside of here, and more on that later. So without further ado, let's get into the match, and then we'll talk about where you can find some of the cards that you can see being used in this video. So I hope you enjoy. All right, so here we are. We have got Kinemon versus Ivankov, 2 OP01 decks that people find quite fun. I got a 5 and he got actually a 4. So this is actually pretty whatever because I want to go second with this deck and he actually wants to go first. So I mean it works out for both of us here. This is going to be pretty interesting though because Ivankov is going to put on the pressure in terms of board, and Kinemon wants to control the board, but having most of its biggest bodies be 7 drops, it kind of like the Ivankovs are 7s, the Luffys are 6s, which means they can be brought down. But there are some cards in this deck, such as the Mihawks and the Ivankovs, that cannot be touched by Kinemon's normal method of swinging through cards. And then the other thing about Kinemon that a lot of people don't understand is that unlike Captain Kidd, Kinemon has a whole lot of not counterable cards, like a little bit more so than the average green deck of set 1. So because of this, there are going to be some really tighter countering hands. Stage 1, I don't see turn 1, I don't see a buggy, but I do see the stage card, which is still a pretty good setup. You're seeing 2 cards a turn instead of 1. Even if you're not net gaining anything, you are still getting this. So I start off a typical turn 2 or turn 1 going second Kinemon turn, which is turn 1 of Kiku. You love to see it. So once again, he's already starting off getting an extra card. This stage card is just actually really good. In a game like this where you don't see that many cards, having essentially your beginning of your turns being a filter 2, you know, seeing 2 additional cards and getting rid of the worst one in your hand is just going to speed through your deck so much more. Some quick decisions. Let's see what he's doing. Oof, going in for a 7K swing with Ivankov. I'm gonna have to take that. That's a little too early in the game to be defending like that. And then we see the buggy. Okay, so we clearly saw the buggy a little later. Not that much of a problem. Getting the Ivankov, you can see the hand coming together, and it is unfortunate for me. Going up to 4 Dawn. Not really a lot you can see happening on this board. Like, we're going to get a swing in for 6 and then tap the buggy. Don't want buggy being an extra attacker if we don't have to have it be an extra attacker. And then we're going to swing on the buggy. He's got expendable cards in hand, but not that expendable. He's still got to last about 2 more turns before he can get into the Ivankov, so he wants to stay at a healthy life total. We're going to get the Bonnie out. That's why we wanted to clear the buggy. And we almost whiff on that, but we get an X-Drake, which is essentially in this case just a 1K counter, unfortunate. And then we'll play a beige just to protect our Bonnie investment. Once again, it's crazy. He's definitely, even though I went second, he's seen like twice the cards I've seen. What, a buggy and 3 activations of New Kama land? Yeah, that's actually absolutely wild. Well, are there 1, 2, 3, 4 cards where I've only seen 1, 2? Yeah, he's seen 2 more cards than me this game going first. That's the power of a stage card that helps you filter like this. Alright, so once again he pitches in Azuma. And now he's going to try to line up an attack forward. I'm going to chump immediately with Beje, keep my Bonnie investment alive. And, yep, he's going to play Crocodile Hardcast. It does not like the best turn from him, but I already know he has a Ivankov, so if he's playing a Crocodile, that must mean he already has another target in hand, and he's just trying to curve out. This is kind of scary for me. But he is trying to put on the pressure by playing these bigger guys as soon as possible. With as many cards in his hand right now, it's going to be very, very rough in order to get this. And I apologize, I should have tapped the Momo, but yeah. Getting the Raizo off the Momonosuke, and then using Bonnie afterwards because she's the one that is going to be a little less. And I end up getting a little less in targets. You always want to prioritize the Momo because he has more targets than Bonnie afterwards. Getting the Killer, just making sure he knew which cards I got. We're going straight face this time because we don't want him to, like, we already know the Crocodile, he's going to dump his hand to keep the Crocodile. The Crocodile's going to be there. So playing up the Killer and then getting the extra Dawn. And I have to hope he doesn't have a Luffy here, but if he does have Luffy, this incentivizes him to put the Luffy back. If he has the Luffy, it incentivizes him to put the Killer back. Getting another card in hand. Let's see what he's going to put down. Alright, Mihawk goes. And then tapping immediately. He doesn't discard anything else. That means his hand is golden. So he's going to hit Ivankov and hit Luffy. And then Luffy's going to bounce back Killer, just as expected. This means that, of course, he doesn't get to have multiple swings on, well, he doesn't get to bounce Okiku, so I can potentially protect Okiku and save it. Thinking about it, and this is what I decided to do. We go up to 8, and now I know that he can only swing for 5 at Okiku, and I'll be fine with that. So the whole point was we wanted Okiku to survive, and we got a pretty good chance of this happening. So now he's just like, yo, okay, Momonosuke's got to go. This is the whole point. I played out Killer knowing that it would be bounced, but knowing that it had a higher chance of being bounced because I wanted Okiku to survive. I need multiple swingers going into this next turn. I need to be able to press him. But we are in a tense space. He's got 3 7K bodies on board, and that's a number that you just don't want to be pinned by. So we're going to end up seeing if we can search a little bit. Take the Scratchman of Pooh because we know that at the end of the day, he's still got the numbers in hand to make this work. He still has 1 card in hand, so if he so chooses, he can bounce back my blocker and pile on for a double strike, and that's a lot. So we're going to see if we can bolster our hands. Izo. All right, picked up 4K counter power. Swinging for 6K because he only has 1 card. Oh, sorry. More than that in. 4 cards in hand. So yeah, he had a lot when he had that. So now I'm going to swing again for 7. He's going to take that. He's down to 2 life. Very, very scary turn for me. Drawing with his field card. Again, he's just seeing so many cards from this. It's actually crazy. Shuffle around cards in hand, seeing what he should do. Make no mistake, it's still a pretty tense turn despite seeming like he has all the gas on board. He just wants to make sure what he's doing is the correct play, and I understand that. As long as you're not running too close to time, it's not exactly a problem. He opts to Mihawk the Okiku to the bottom of my deck. The tap out is scary, especially in 2 life, but he just had to kind of make sure he could assess This is a much easier play versus this deck than his versus Kid. Now he's swinging to make sure Bonnie goes. He has no intention on dropping his hand. This is where it gets super rough for me. We have to punk Gibson, and when we get to, yeah, we get to punk Gibson out of things, and then he ends up swinging with his Crocodile. And we combo out of it by going up to 8. We've survived, but we've lost quite a few cards in hand. I think now we do need to get back into the end of the game. He doesn't have blockers. He barely has a hand. So, I mean, we need a threat. We need a game changer. Without blockers and without a hand, I think it's just time to rip the 7 cost after Kinemon's effect. Rip out into into an Odin. And then with the counter power, we don't really have much counter power in hand, so it's kind of rough at this point. If we play Beige, he's going to bounce it. And that's not bad because he has to discard 2 cards from his hand. But it's also going to give him double attack, which could potentially lead me to dying. He can do that regardless, but yeah, we're gonna check his hand by swinging. He's gonna block with the Bond Clay. Play Beige, and then we're gonna play Killer. So now he currently have 2 blockers. He can only bounce 1. He has 2 life left. So we need to hit him 3 different times. New Kamalin, hit a little bit of a filter. Dropping Alvida. That is incredibly scary. Hitting a 7 at me. Swinging with his leader first is a little dangerous here because Punk Gibson from life can definitely screw up some of his plays, but swinging for 7 again. He's feeling pretty comfortable here, so he's just actually getting rid of some of my blockers. Now getting it in with an 8. And my hand is so low on counter power. Like, I see a Paradise Waterfall. I end up blocking this one. And then Mihawk just goes in for the other one. I have to take it. So I'm at 1 life. And then he decides to get very, very nasty. A Doflamingo blocker. Ask how many cards I have in hand. Just rearranging to make sure he has the best sequence draws. Yep, and he plays another blocker, and he's another blocker. So he's got 2 blockers and 2 life, and I have 1 life. I'm staring down 1, 2, 3, like 3 valid attacks. This is just awful for me. Like, there's just so little I can do here. I was able to get down 2 of his blockers, but I only have so much now to swing at, and he has cards in hand. So he hits the Gum Gum Rain and gets out of that one, meaning I only have 1 more attack. I needed every attack I had to go through, and I only had so much power behind them because I had to spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get over that, and that's the game. So yeah. Ivankov took it versus Kinemon. Just showing him my counter power. only had a little bit in hand, and I had to do what I had to do to try to get rid of his blockers to try to swing past him, but it was not enough simply. Alright, so yeah, let's just talk about our sponsor real quick, and then we'll go over into the closing of the video. So let's talk about Mystic TCG, your one-stop shop for all your TCG needs. On the site, you can buy or pre-order plenty of sealed product for plenty of games. Just make sure though, if you're pre-ordering, to give it 3 to 4 months in advance to start looking, because sometimes the product is indeed hot, supply and demand, you know. And then if you want to buy singles, go on tcgplayer.com. There's going to be a link in the description where you can buy for the best value. And if you want to sell cards or collections, you can message them on their Facebook site so you can get the best bang for your buck on any type of way you want to buy or sell cards. And then while you're at it, you can use the code UNIXTCG at checkout to get even more of a discount. So hey, what are you waiting for? Check out Mystic TCG today. So there you have it. That was Kinemon versus Ivankov. I thought it was a back and forth, but he was able to snowball hard into his advantage on board. And against Ivankov, that's just simply how it plays. You either have the ability to withstand its normal amounts of onslaught, or you don't. The deck is surprisingly consistent in what it does, simply because you're going to be seeing so many cards throughout the game. You might as well draw into the pieces that you know you have in at 4 of, you know. So it was a very, very, very cool game. I thought I was going to be able to pull it out, and at the very end just wasn't enough. Surprisingly, he put 2 blockers down at the end. I still was able to block or tap both of them and then attempt to swing. Just wasn't enough to get through because of Gum Gum Rain and a 2K being able to block one of the 10K swings I had. So it is what it is. Close game. Glad it was played, and I will see you guys in one of the next videos. Coming up next week, well, throughout the rest of the week, we'll have more One Piece gameplay, but soon after that we're going to be announcing the winners of the film deck, so stay tuned. We've got some Dragon Ball content coming over, like very soon. We're going to talk about the ban list, and yeah, it is what it is. Hope to see you guys in all the future content, but signing off for now.